Let me get straight to the point. You're wasting your energy. Every time you compare yourself to someone else, every time you explain yourself to people who aren't even listening, every time you speak just to be heard, you're giving away your power. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need their approval. You don't need their applause. What you do need is to get serious about your life. Put your head down, focus on your own lane, stop talking, start building. Because silence is strength. And focus is a superpower. This isn't about isolation, it's about elevation. Let's talk about why the smartest move you'll ever make is to shut out the noise and dial in on you. Every single day, from the moment you wake up, your energy is under attack. Notifications, conversations, opinions, comparisons, your attention is being pulled in 1,000 different directions. And if you're not intentional, you end up drained, distracted, and disconnected from what actually matters: your goals, your growth, and your peace. Most people don't realize this, but energy is your most valuable currency. It's more important than time, more important than money, and definitely more important than other people's approval. Because where your energy goes, your life goes. The people you give your energy to, the thoughts you obsess over, the things you allow into your mental space, those are shaping your reality, whether you know it or not. Think about it. How often do you find yourself thinking about what someone said about you, scrolling endlessly on social media, reacting to things that have absolutely nothing to do with your mission? That's energy leakage. That's you giving pieces of yourself away to things that don't build you. And over time, it adds up. Suddenly, you're exhausted. Not because you worked hard, but because you let everything around you eat away at your mental space. Protecting your energy means taking responsibility for what you allow into your world. It means setting boundaries, even if it makes people uncomfortable. It means saying a no to things that aren't aligned with where you're going, even if it means missing out on a few moments of fun. Because your focus, your drive, your clarity, they're sacred. And you don't hand sacred things out to just anyone. You've got to get ruthless about your peace. That doesn't mean you cut everyone off or isolate yourself. It means you become selective. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts, your time, or your presence. Stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Stop engaging in drama that pulls you off course. Stop arguing with people who haven't earned a seat at your table. You don't owe the world your attention. You owe yourself your best shot. When you protect your energy, you begin to move differently. You stop reacting to everything and start responding with intention. You no longer operate on autopilot. You choose your direction. Your mornings feel different. You don't wake up with the weight of the world on your shoulders. You wake up clear, calm, ready. Because your energy is preserved and your mind is focused, there's a quiet kind of power that comes when you stop chasing everything and start choosing what matters. And that power comes from discipline, from boundaries, from choosing silence over noise. You'll find that when you stop wasting energy on the unnecessary, you have so much more to give to what truly counts: your craft, your dreams, your personal evolution. Protecting your energy also means protecting your self-talk. The way you speak to yourself determines the way you show up in the world. Cut out the inner noise that tells you you're not enough. Shut down the doubts that were never yours to begin with. Or speak power into your own life. Fill your mind with thoughts that elevate you, not thoughts that drain you. You are not here to please everyone. You are not here to be accessible 24/7. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be fulfilled. And the moment you decide that your energy matters more than your image, you become unstoppable. Because now you're not just living, you're building. You're not reacting, you're creating. And that's where real transformation happens. So be unavailable to chaos. Be unavailable to gossip. Be unavailable to anything that doesn't nourish your purpose. Your energy is your edge. Protect it like your life depends on it, because in many ways, there comes a time when you've got to stop looking outside yourself for permission to live your life, because as long as you keep chasing validation, you're handing the keys of your future to someone else. And here's the truth. Most people never say out loud, validation is addictive. The moment you start relying on it, you stop trusting yourself. You stop making bold moves. You stop doing what's right for you and start doing what looks good to them. Seeking validation is one of the most subtle ways you give your power away. It sneaks up on you. It sounds like, what will they think if I do this? Or should I post this? What if no one likes it? Or maybe I'm not ready yet. Maybe I need someone to tell me I'm good enough first. That voice in your head, that's not your instinct talking. That's fear, that's doubt, that's conditioning. Because from a young age, most of us were trained to seek approval. Get the gold star, be liked, don't rock the boat. And somewhere along the way, we confuse approval with worth. But listen carefully. Your worth is not up for debate. It's not something to be voted on. It's not determined by how many likes you get, how many people agree with you, or whether the world applauds your choices. Your worth is in your breath, your story, your resilience, your effort. Your worth is already there, waiting on you to recognize it, not waiting on the world to hand it to you. When you stop seeking validation, you start showing up differently. You stop shrinking. You stop editing yourself to make other people comfortable. You stop living in reaction to other people's opinions and start living in alignment with your own truth. That's when you become dangerous in the best way possible, because now you're not controlled by outside noise. You're driven by internal clarity. The hard truth is, no matter what you do, someone will always have an opinion. You could play small and still be criticized. You could stay quiet and still be misunderstood. You could follow every rule and still be rejected. So why not just be you anyway? Why not move with authenticity? Even if it means standing alone for a while. Because the people who are meant to walk with you, the ones who really see you, they'll never need you to shrink just to be accepted. You don't need validation to take the first step. You don't need applause to begin. You don't need a cheering squad to follow your calling. If you wait for the world to say, "Psych, go ahead, now's your time," you'll be waiting forever. That time never comes. You create that moment by deciding you're done waiting. You create that moment by trusting that your intuition, your vision, your voice, they matter. And the truth is, when you stop seeking validation, you start getting real results. Because now your energy is going into your work, not your image. You're focused on growth, not approval. You're building something meaningful, not performing for likes. And ironically, the moment you stop caring what they think is the moment people start paying attention. Because confidence, real confidence, can't be faked. It comes from within. It comes from doing the work, showing up when no one's watching, and believing in yourself even when no one claps. This isn't about arrogance, it's about liberation. It's about finally breathing without waiting for someone to say you're allowed to. It's about knowing that your life is yours and you don't need to run it like a popularity contest. Because validation fades, people change, opinions shift. But who you are when everything's stripped away, that's what lasts. So stop waiting to be picked. Stop waiting for recognition. Stop waiting for someone to tell you you're ready. If it's in your heart, it's already yours. You don't need anyone's permission to show up fully, speak boldly, or dream wildly. All you need is to believe that you are enough, as you are, where you are, with what you've got. Once you own that, you're free. In today's world, we are surrounded by noise. Everywhere you look, there's a constant stream of words, opinions, distractions, people talking, screens flashing, voices demanding your attention. It's exhausting, and it's easy to get caught up in the chaos, to feel like you have to say something, respond to everything, engage in every conversation. But here's the secret. Silence is not just a break from the noise, it's your greatest weapon. When you choose silence, you reclaim your power. You stop reacting to everything around you, and instead you begin responding with intention. The world will try to pull you in 1,000 directions. Everyone will have something to say about what you should do, how you should feel, who you should be. But when you stop adding your voice to every conversation, when you stop chasing every opinion, you stop giving your energy to things that don't serve your purpose. And in that silence, you find clarity. Silence isn't about shutting down or hiding away. It's about learning the strength of diving into work. Over time, you'll train your mind to focus more effortlessly, to block out the noise, and to tune in to what truly matters. This mental discipline will not only make you more productive, but it will also allow you to experience a deeper sense of fulfillment because you'll be fully engaged in the present moment. Not distracted by everything happening around you. Focus also means understanding that your energy is finite. You can't give your attention to everything without depleting your resources. Just like a muscle, your ability to focus needs to be exercised and strengthened. This is why it's essential to structure your day around your highest priorities, setting clear intentions for what you want to accomplish, and narrowing your attention to those specific tasks. Every time you shift your focus to something else, you risk losing momentum. But when you stay committed to one thing at a time, your progress accelerates. When you focus on the task in front of you, you allow yourself to go deeper into your work. You become more creative, more efficient, and more skilled. You stop worrying about the outcome and simply enjoy the process. You see every obstacle as a challenge to be solved, not a roadblock. You gain clarity because you're no longer scattered or overwhelmed by the demands of the world around you. You've made the decision to take charge of your attention, and with that decision comes an unstoppable force of forward momentum. The real power of focus is that it doesn't just impact your productivity. It transforms the way you live. When you can fully concentrate on your goals, you become more aligned with your true purpose. Every action you take becomes intentional, and every result you achieve becomes a reflection of your unwavering commitment. Your path is clearer because you're not distracted by side routes or dead ends. Ultimately, mastering the art of focus is about recognizing that your time and energy are precious. You don't have time to waste on things that don't matter. When you learn to direct your focus where it counts, you start to see exponential growth, not just in your work, but in your life. You stop being a passive participant and become an active creator of your own reality. Focus gives you the ability to turn your dreams into something tangible. It gives you the clarity to see your vision and the persistence to make it real. Comparison is one of the most destructive habits that hold people back from reaching their full potential. It sneaks into our lives so quietly, often disguised as a simple moment of curiosity or a harmless glance at someone else's success. But what starts as a fleeting thought quickly grows into a mindset that saps your energy, dilutes your focus, and undermines your confidence. The truth is, comparison is not a tool for self-improvement, it's a trap. When you compare yourself to others, you place your worth on the scale of someone else's life. You begin measuring your value based on things you can't control, their achievements, their circumstances, their image. You start to believe that their success somehow diminishes yours, that there's only so much room for greatness in the world, and if someone else is winning, that means you're losing. This mindset doesn't just harm your self-esteem, it keeps you stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and insecurity, constantly chasing something you can never truly own. The problem with comparison is that it's an illusion. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. You see their success, their polished social media posts, their effortless victories, but you don't see the struggles, the failures, the mistakes they've made along the way. What you don't see is the grind, the setbacks, the work that's taken place behind closed doors. You're seeing only the final product, the shiny exterior, and making the false assumption that it came easily or overnight. But nothing worth having ever comes without its challenges. When you allow comparison to dominate your thoughts, you stop appreciating your own journey. You lose sight of what makes your path unique, what makes your story yours. Your growth isn't something to be measured by someone else's timeline or standard. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Are you growing? Are you evolving? Are you putting in the work to become better than you were before? That's the true measure of success. It's also important to recognize that comparison robs you of your joy. When you're constantly looking around, checking where everyone else is, you forget to celebrate your own victories. Every small win becomes insignificant in the shadow of someone else's apparent success. But what if your own progress is something to be proud of? What if, rather than focusing on what someone else is doing, you celebrated how far you've come, how much you've learned, and how much you've grown? The moment you stop comparing is the moment you start truly living in your own skin, embracing your own accomplishments, and finding satisfaction in your own journey. Another aspect of comparison is that it often leads to envy and resentment. Instead of feeling inspired by others, you start to resent their success because it makes you feel inadequate. This envy is toxic. It pulls you into a negative mindset where you're so focused on what others have that you can't see the opportunities in front of you. You start to believe that someone else's success means you're not good enough. And in turn, you begin to self-sabotage. This pattern only takes you further away from your goal. The real power comes from stepping away from comparison and stepping into your own story. The moment you realize that your success, your worth, and your purpose are not defined by someone else's path, you free yourself. You allow your own vision to take shape. You create your own definition of success. Instead of looking at others and wondering what they're doing right, you focus on what you can do right. You become so caught up in your own growth that you no longer have the time or energy to measure yourself against anyone else. The antidote to comparison is self-acceptance. It's understanding that your journey is your own and that the only timeline that matters is the one you're creating. Yes, other people's success can be inspiring. It can push you to grow and strive for more, but it should never make you feel less than. You have your own set of strengths, experiences, and talents that no one else has. Embrace that, own that, and watch how much more powerful and confident you become when you stop trying to mirror someone else's life. Instead of comparing, start asking yourself empowering questions. What do I need to do to move forward today? How can I become a better version of myself tomorrow? When you start focusing on your own journey, your progress becomes the reward. You realize that the only race you're running is the one against the person you were yesterday. And every step forward is a victory in itself. Comparison isn't a tool for growth, it's a thief. It steals your time, your peace, and your sense of worth. So make the choice to stop looking at others as a way to measure your value. Instead, turn your focus inward, embrace your uniqueness, and watch your life transform. The only thing standing between you and the success you crave is the belief that you're worthy of it. And when you stop comparing yourself to others, you can finally see your worth for what it truly is: infinite. In a world that thrives on instant gratification, it's easy to get caught up in the need for recognition. We live in a society where likes, comments, and followers can sometimes feel like the ultimate validation. But here's the hard truth: external validation is fleeting. What truly matters, the only thing that can't be faked or diminished, is the results you create. Let your results speak for themselves. When you focus on letting your actions and achievements do the talking, you align yourself with a higher level of success that is undeniable, sustainable, and meaningful. For so long, many of us are conditioned to seek approval, to constantly check in with others about whether what we're doing isn't good enough. We tell ourselves, if I can just get this many likes, this many views, this many comments, I'll know I'm on the right track. But what happens when those things don't come? You end up questioning yourself, doubting your efforts, and second-guessing your worth. You place your value in something external, and in doing so, you lose sight of the true measure of success, the impact and progress you make from the inside out. Results don't lie. They don't need a boost from your social media post or a fan base cheering you on. When you let your results speak, you begin to operate from a place of confidence, knowing that your work will eventually speak louder than any words ever could. Our success isn't about what you say or how you sell yourself to others, it's about what you achieve. The consistent effort, the grind, the unseen hours spent working on your craft, all of that is what truly defines your success. This mindset shift is crucial, because when you stop seeking validation from others, you open up a new realm of freedom. You stop worrying about whether people see your hustle or appreciate your work. Instead, you focus on the long-term impact of what you're creating. It's easy to get caught up in the desire for recognition, but real success comes when you don't need to advertise your progress. Your results will do it for you. Think about the greats in any field: athletes, musicians, entrepreneurs, artists. They don't have to shout about their accomplishments or beg for attention. Their success is evident in the impact they've had, the changes they've made, the doors they've opened. Their results are so loud that no amount of talking could possibly convey the same message. They let their work speak for itself, and because of that, they command respect and admiration. Their consistency, their excellence, their results are what make them stand out. And here's the key: the results you create will not always come immediately, nor will they always look exactly how you envision them. In fact, often the results take time. It's the daily commitment to your craft, the quiet persistence, and the belief in your own potential that lead to tangible outcomes. Every small step forward, every piece of progress, every lesson learned contributes to the final result. So don't get discouraged if you don't see instant success. Trust that your results are being shaped by the effort you put in, even when you can't immediately see the outcome. There's also something incredibly empowering about focusing on results rather than validation. When you focus on results, you take control of your destiny. You stop handing over the power of your self-worth to others. Instead, you begin to measure your success by what you achieve, not by how others perceive it. This is freedom. This is power. This is the mindset that drives high achievers. Letting your results speak also means choosing to show up consistently, even when no one is watching. It's about doing the work, even when the applause is nowhere in sight. Because you understand that the work itself is the reward, or the growth, the learning, the progress, it all compounds over time. And when the results finally arrive, they'll be undeniable. You won't need to explain yourself or convince anyone of your worth. Your achievements will speak for themselves. This approach also eliminates the need for competition. When you focus on your own results, you stop comparing yourself to others. You stop worrying about what they're doing or how far ahead they seem. Instead, you focus on your own progress, and the results you create in the process become your true measure of success. The beauty of this approach is that your results are unique to you. They reflect your journey, your vision, your growth. No one can take that away from you. Ultimately, letting results speak is about embracing the idea that the work itself is the reward. It's about building something lasting, something that has impact, or something that's bigger than just the surface-level metrics of likes, shares, or views. It's about creating a legacy, not just a moment. So, let go of the need to explain or prove anything. Let your results do the talking, and trust that with consistency, dedication, and focus, your success will come. When you focus on the work, rather than the recognition, you'll find that your true value is not in how you're perceived, but in what you achieve. And that's the kind of success that lasts. One of the most freeing realizations you can have in life is that your journey is uniquely yours. It may seem like a simple idea, but it carries profound meaning. In a world that often encourages comparison, competition, and conformity, it's easy to forget that your path doesn't need to look like anyone else's. We can get caught up in thinking we need to follow the same timelines, make the same choices, or achieve the same things as others around us. But the truth is, your journey is different, and that's exactly what makes it powerful. Every individual is shaped by their own set of experiences, challenges, and perspectives. What works for someone else may not work for you, and that's perfectly okay. In fact, that's one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, the permission to walk your own path. There's no universal blueprint for success. Success looks different for everyone, and it evolves in ways that are often not immediately obvious. When you stop trying to mimic the journeys of others, you allow yourself the freedom to explore your own desires, goals, and aspirations. The temptation to compare yourself to others is a constant battle. In a world where social media presents a curated, often exaggerated version of success, it can feel like everyone else has it figured out while you're still finding your way. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Everyone is at different stages of their journey, and just because someone else is ahead in one area doesn't mean you're behind in yours. It simply means they're on a different path, with different circumstances, experiences, and lessons to learn. Your journey has its own pace and its own course, and that's something to celebrate, not resent. It's important to remember that the obstacles you face on your journey are part of what makes it yours. The setbacks, the failures, the challenges, these are not signs that you're not good enough or that you're failing. They are simply the necessary experiences that build your resilience, your character, and your unique story. There is no such thing as a smooth, uninterrupted path to success. Every bump along the way teaches you something valuable. And it's through these experiences that you find strength, wisdom, and clarity about who you are and what you truly want out of life. Too often, people get discouraged when their progress doesn't mirror someone else's. They see someone else's success and think, why isn't that happening for me? But the question should not be, why not me? Instead, it should be, what is my journey teaching me right now? The beauty of life lies in the variety of paths people take to get to where they're going. Some people move quickly, while others take their time. Some take big leaps, while others take smaller, more measured steps. There's no right or wrong way, there's only your way. One of the most powerful aspects of recognizing that your journey is yours alone is the ability to let go of the need for approval from others. When you stop comparing your progress to someone else's, you free yourself from the pressure to conform to someone else's idea of success. You stop worrying about how others perceive your choices. And instead, you become more aligned with your own vision and values. You learn to trust yourself and your instincts, knowing that the decisions you make along the way are the right ones for you, even if they don't always make sense to others. There is also a sense of peace that comes with accepting your unique journey. You stop constantly measuring your worth based on where you are in relation to others. Instead, you start to measure your success by your own standards, by your own growth, and by the lessons you're learning along the way. You begin to appreciate the journey for what it is, an unfolding process that takes time, patience, and dedication. You begin to enjoy the ride, rather than obsessing over the destination. Your journey is also a deeply personal experience. No one else will ever walk it in the exact same way that you will. The people you meet, the experiences you have, and the lessons you learn are all yours to claim. And while others may offer guidance, inspiration, or advice along the way, the choices you make are ultimately yours to own. No one else can define what success means for you. Only you can do that. And when you accept that your journey is yours alone, you embrace the freedom to live life on your own terms. In accepting that your path is unique, you also give yourself permission to be imperfect. You're allowed to make mistakes, change your mind, and course correct along the way. There's no one-size-fits-all timeline for success, and there's no prescribed formula for how things should happen. The beauty of your journey is that it's ever evolving, always unfolding in new and surprising ways. And while others may try to tell you what to do or how to live, only you have the answers for your own life. You are the author of your story. Embracing your unique journey allows you to find fulfillment and satisfaction in your life's work. You stop chasing after someone else's dream and start creating your own. You realize that the path you're on is exactly where you need to be. And each step, no matter how small, is part of your personal growth. There's no rush. There's no competition. There's just your path, your pace, and your purpose. Uncertainty is something that many people fear. The unknown feels unsettling, and it's easy to get caught in the trap of wanting everything to be clear, predictable, and controllable. But in reality, life is filled with uncertainty. No matter how much planning, preparation, or forecasting you do, there will always be elements of life that are outside your control. Embracing uncertainty is not just about accepting it, it's about learning to thrive within it, using it to fuel your growth rather than holding you back. When you make peace with the unknown, you open yourself up to opportunities you never could have imagined. The root of the fear of uncertainty lies in the idea of losing control. We feel safer when we know what's coming next, when we have a set plan, when we can predict the outcome of our decisions. But life doesn't work that way. It's filled with twists and turns, unexpected challenges, and moments that can't be foreseen. Rather than trying to fight this unpredictability, you can learn to embrace it as part of your journey. When you let go of the need to control every aspect of your life, you free yourself to explore new possibilities. You start to realize that uncertainty is a part of the process. It's what keeps things fresh, exciting, and full of potential. One of the most powerful aspects of embracing uncertainty is that it opens up space for growth. If everything in life were certain, if everything followed a clear and predictable path, there would be no room for learning, for innovation, or for improvement. It's the unpredictable moments, the detours, the mistakes that ultimately shape who we are. These are the experiences that teach us the most. They push us to adapt, to evolve, and to think in new ways. When you embrace uncertainty, you accept that failure and setbacks are part of the journey. Instead of fearing them, you begin to see them as valuable lessons that help you move forward. The key to thriving in uncertainty is developing resilience, the ability to bounce back after challenges. Life's unpredictability doesn't have to be a source of anxiety. It can be a source of strength. When you embrace uncertainty, you train yourself to remain calm and focused even when things don't go according to plan. You learn to trust in your ability to handle whatever comes your way, knowing that you've faced challenges before and emerged stronger each time. This mindset shift allows you to approach new challenges with curiosity and courage, rather than fear and hesitation. One of the ways to embrace uncertainty is to practice letting go of the need for a perfect outcome. So often we get caught up in trying to ensure everything will turn out just the way we want it. We set high expectations and place immense pressure on ourselves to meet them. But when we embrace uncertainty, we let go of the idea that everything must be perfect. We learn to appreciate the process, not just the outcome. This allows us to take risks, try new things, and step outside of our comfort zones, knowing that we're growing along the way regardless of the result. Another important aspect of embracing uncertainty is trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust that everything will work out as it's meant to. Trusting the unknown doesn't mean that you're guaranteed success, but it means that you're willing to take the leap even when the outcome is unclear. You trust that you have the strength, the skills, and the mindset to handle whatever challenges arise. This trust creates a sense of freedom. It allows you to take action without constantly worrying about what could go wrong. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect circumstances, you take action in the face of uncertainty, knowing that you're capable of handling whatever comes your way. Embracing uncertainty also means letting go of the need for constant validation. When things are uncertain, it's easy to look to others for reassurance, to seek approval, or to compare yourself to those around you. But when you learn to embrace uncertainty, you begin to trust your own judgment. You become less reliant on others' opinions, and you stop waiting for external confirmation that you're on the right path. You understand that uncertainty is part of the process, and that you don't need to have everything figured out in order to move forward. The beauty of embracing uncertainty is that it leads to new opportunities. When you stop fearing the unknown, you begin to take chances you might have otherwise avoided. You open yourself up to new experiences, new ideas, and new possibilities that you never could have imagined if you were too focused on controlling every outcome. It's the willingness to step into the unknown that leads to the greatest growth, the most fulfilling experiences, and the most profound transformation. Finally, embracing uncertainty brings peace. Instead of fighting against the unknown, you learn to flow with it. You understand that uncertainty isn't something to be feared. It's simply part of the ebb and flow of life. By releasing the need for control and embracing life's unpredictability, you make room for greater joy, peace, and fulfillment. You learn that the most beautiful things often come from the unexpected, and that the magic of life lies in the mystery of what's yet to come. So, the next time you're faced with uncertainty, don't shy away from it, embrace it, step into it with confidence, knowing that you are more than capable of handling whatever comes your way. The unknown is not a roadblock, it's a gateway to growth, to discovery, and to the life you were meant to live. In conclusion, the journey of life is filled with twists, turns, and unpredictable moments, and it's how we navigate through these moments that truly defines us. The key to living a fulfilling, impactful life is not in seeking perfection or certainty, but in embracing who we are, where we are, and the